We are back. Welcome back to our May monthly review. We have myself, Tim Fisher.
Jordan Gimiola.
And Evan Nelson on the Sam Cam.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Sam, we love you. I know it's been crazy. Sam got a new job, everybody, so he's been handling business. He's been doing it all.
Sam. Hell yeah,
So
Sam.
it's all good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Sam, don't worry, dude.
Miss you,
You're gonna have a spot on here. You're fine, dude. Don't be stressed.
We love you, Sam.
Well, I'll let you guys know. I had actually, so everybody knows, everyone in this room today on this episode had a birthday this past month of May.
That's right.
So happy birthday, everybody.
Congratulations, everybody.
Happy birthday,
Happy
us.
birthday, everybody.
We made it another year.
Yeah, 1 year closer to death. Congratulations, everyone.
Memento Mori. Memento Mori, guys. Yep.
Man, that is a sad
I know.
side. I'm closer to 40.
Dude, all of us, I think.
40.
Let's start this. I think we're going to start with the youngest person in the room, which I think is Evan. How old did you turn?
I turned the big 3-0. So the dirty 30,
Dude,
boys.
Wait, it was
Evan,
30?
you're only 30 years old?
Yeah.
I mean, you look young. But
Damn, son. We're getting old, Joe.
I was like,
Yeah.
32.
Guys, I'm part of the 30 club. I'm in the same club now.
Yeah,
This
you're
is true.
You're in.
Yeah.
I turned 37, which honestly, we'll get into this, but I turned 37, and then Jordan.
38.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm 2 years away from the big 4-0.
Hey, how you doing there, Grandpa? You good?
Well, yeah, I'm doing good. You know, I mean, it's weird. It's weird.
It's different.
honestly.
Yeah.
This is the first birthday that I had where I was kind of like, oh man,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't feel old at all, but like, I feel old. You know, like
Yeah.
it's like.
In your bones.
Just
In your
yeah,
bones.
just it's weird. But you know what? I mean, it's life, and I'm trying to take it one a day at a time, and like not in a bad way. Just looking forward to all the good stuff.
Yeah, I was telling somebody, I was just like, I never thought of the day I'd be close to my 40s. I broke it down. I said, you get excited when you're 16, you can buy a car. And then it's like, I'm going to be 18, go to college and be my own person. Then it's 25. I can rent a car or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Then it's like, oh man, dirty 30. And then you're like, whew.
that's it.
So what now? What?
I mean,
What do I have to look forward to?
prostate check exam.
Yes,
Oh,
thumbs.
boy.
Thumbs
I
only,
think,
though.
with your 40 thumbs only. You know what? That would
thumbs
be
only,
pretty
please.
funny if a doctor opened up a prostate check exam that called it thumbs only.
Or just call it Dr. Thumbs Prostate.
Yeah, like baby hands prostate check.
Baby
We don't hurt
hands.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sweet
Patent
baby
pending, I
hands.
guess.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
okay.
know.
So we took some time off. We took like a week off. Which is good. We're a big proponent on here of mental health, and we've been going hard for 2.5 years. And that's why I started saying, hey, look, if we miss a week, guys, it's okay. Like
Yeah.
we have a strong base. We're getting great downloads. It is what it is. But for my birthday, I went to the East Coast.
That's right.
Went to Boston, DC. We toured like all the historical sites and stuff like that, which was awesome. But you know what I realized in this age of like late 30s going to 40s is I cannot eat out every day. And I cannot drink every day because, dude, I get puffy.
Yep.
My muscles get tight. That hotel, it was a nice hotel. It was the Omni Hotel. Thank you, Omni. Every day I wowoke up, I had to stretch.
Oh,
I had to stretch.
Like right when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah,
you're
or the day was messed up. I was like, man, 37's hard.
like, dude.
Golly, what's happening?
Well, the good/bad news is it doesn't get easier. And the maintenance side of things is so important,
Thanks for the reminder, Jordan.
And hey, look, I have 1 year on you, and I'm from 37 to 38. I don't feel that it got easier physically, but I think you just get smarter about doing stuff. You know, like you understand, and like I'm good with routines, but like as far as like self-care routines, sometimes I struggle with. And which is funny that you even said that as far as stretching, because I feel like most of the time now when I get up in the morning, it's like, it doesn't take a long time, but the whole, it's like almost a necessary thing now. Otherwise, I might like pull a muscle getting out of bed.
Well, it's my hips. That's the biggest thing I have trouble with. I think it's from all the running I do and everything. It's my hips get tight, and then when I wake up, like if I don't stretch in the morning, like my whole day is shot. My back hurts, everything. But if I wake up and stretch out my hips and my back and use a roller, that was one thing I could say I wish I had, or I can have like when I travel. Because I was even, this past week, I was in Scottsdale for a friend's bachelor party. And even that, just one night, I woke up and I'm like, does anybody have a foam roller? I'm like, dude, my back.
You start packing like a Theragun in there with you. You're like,
that's the one thing when I was on the East Coast I wanted so bad.
Yeah.
Every hotel I was staying in, I kept asking. It had gyms. I made sure that. But I said, hey, do you guys have foam rollers? And one person was like, what's that? Okay, never mind.
Well,
never mind.
Funny enough, guys, actually coming here today, I'm like, wow, 30 kind of, I feel a little bit because like all my left side is all like knotted up and just like, I work out a lot, so then maybe that's it too. But I know
I hate to burst your bubble, Evan, but you look fantastic. So as much as I want to feel bad for you,
dude.
I really have a hard time.
I mean,
walking around looking like that.
Don't,
Mr. 2% body fat behind you here, dude.
All right. Hey, no. I'm way more than 2%. But I mean, one, thank you. Two, you don't look too bad yourself, Jordan. I mean, like you're looking like a little stud muffin right here. Same with you, Tim. But
he's got kids for a reason. He looks good.
Like, oh yeah, man. Yeah, he's a big old baby maker, man.
Oh, man, he's doing
yeah.
Hey, I just do what I can. No, but what's funny is you made a comment about the eating and drinking, right?
Oh, it's different, yeah.
I also went on a little trip. I had a softball tournament and was up in Vegas for a couple days. And you know how that goes. I'm out there, bunch of friends, and we're gambling and drinking and stuff. And I used to be able to just keep marching, like I wouldn't be one of the first guys to go down at night kind of thing, And not as a prideful thing, I'm just having fun. You know what I mean? And what I noticed is that doesn't really work for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel it for like multiple days after the fact now. And like, to be honest with you, I thought I was really smart. I bought like liquid IV stuff.
Hey,
those are counting those before I went to sleep. Woke up, a couple of Advil. Normally, that's like, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Now it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's the food. For me, it's the food and alcohol. Yeah. I mean, I drink light beer, Michelob. And
right. I drank a lot of beer this time instead of doing like hard alcohol.
It's like I didn't realize eating out I was gone for 12 days. Every meal I was eating out. Right? You try to eat healthy, but you're like, dude, I'm on vacation. I'm gonna eat something on the East Coast I've never had. Whatever, right? You keep going, but like I realized, like here, back when I'm home, I eat very clean, meal prep, all that stuff, and I didn't realize it makes you realize how important it is what you're putting in your body.
Yeah,
it's very, very important what you put in and staying healthy. And I always say have a cheat day. I mean, like have one day where you go out with your significant other, partner, whatever. Go have pancakes. Go eat a burger. Have a couple tacos. Have a good time. But I could see why it matters what you're putting in.
Totally.
It absolutely matters what's going into your body, man.
Oh yeah, dude. I eat a donut and my ass jiggles for a week. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Well, hey, before we get this started, I got a funny story for you. When I was on the East Coast, I was I'll just say I was drunk every day. Whatever. I was loving it.
You're on vacation.
Yeah, I was disconnected from the world.
Yeah.
So I was walking towards where's I going? Ford's Theater. I wanted to go tour it where Lincoln was shot. It's still there.
Yeah.
You can take a tour and all that stuff. And I'm going, and I had already toured another museum in the National Mall. I think it was African American Museum, whatever. I got kicked out of that one. That's another story. Anyways. Oh yeah.
What? Yeah. Keep going.
But there's a lot of one-way streets in DC, and I was going to jaywalk, which everyone's jaywalking, right?
Yeah.
It's a one-way street, and I stepped out, but I looked both ways, and then I went, and there was a guy behind me. He went, huh. He laughed, right? We get across the street, and I was just like, well, he's like, you're not from around here, huh? I said, no, I'm not. How could you tell? He said, you look both ways when you cross the street. And I turned and I fully looked. I said, look, dude, I'm going to be real with you, okay? I said, aliens lock their doors when they pass Earth. I'm fucking looking both ways before I cross a one-way street. Yeah, dude. He was floored. He goes, you have a good point. And he just walked away.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm looking both ways, homeboy.
Well, what a weird statement from that guy.
Right.
Like you're not from here. You can just dart out. You're like, I've seen hundreds of people hit by cars, dude. Like I can assure you 90% of people aren't paying attention while they're driving.
Yes.
Of course I'm looking both ways.
Yeah, and then okay, I'll just tell you why I didn't do anything like crazy. But I had breakfast, I was, and then every morning I would rent an e-bike. It was really cool. And I rented the bike and I would take it, and I would just ride through super early with coffee and go through by the Washington Memorial, across the reflection pool to Lincoln Memorial. And it was just quiet, beautiful, no tourists around at that time. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was journaling, I was reading. It was so nice. But of course, hey, man, it's almost lunchtime. Let's have a drink. Yeah. Okay, one drink turns into probably 4. And then a couple cocktails, whatever. It's early. So I get out. I'm like, I'm a little buzzed. So I put my sunglasses on. I get my bike. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go to the African American Museum. So I go, I'm with this group of people, right? And we're walking around. Of course, they have it you got to walk a certain way, right? Well, dude, I was buzzed hard, dude. It is what it is. And I ended up getting kind of lost because I have my sunglasses on too, so it's already dark enough, yeah. And I'm walking around. I was like, dude, where am I? And I open a door. I open a door to a janitor's closet, and I open another door, and it's like an office, and there's people in there.
Oh no!
And I was like, and I probably look shady as hell.
With your sunglasses on, cock to the side. Like, what's going on here? Yeah.
They're like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, hey, no, I'm just here touring, visiting. No, stay. Someone call security. And I'm thinking, great.
Oh no.
Security comes like, sir, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know. I just got lost. Well, how do you get lost back here? You have to cross this, and this rope. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I'm not really thinking right now.
Show me the signs that say don't enter.
I'm disconnected.
Yeah.
Well, then my happy ass has the smart idea to say a comment that did not help. I said,
God.
It doesn't matter. I own half this place anyways.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, they were like, "You're done. You're done. Come back tomorrow."
Well received.
No. They opened up a side door and you're gone. Get out of here. It was so funny, dude. I was
kind of have half of the stuff.
I was like, dude, I'm half black. What are you guys tripping for? I'm just trying to see some stuff.
That's your passport card, dude. You're like, no, sir, this is an establishment.
Yeah. I was laughing. I'm like, no one's gonna believe this. This is crazy, dude.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good, dude.
But if I could say anything, we're gonna get started here with this episode. But if people have a chance to go to the East Coast, go to DC to see those national monuments, and go to Boston, these places where Bunker Hill was, and where the Boston Massacre, that building's still there.
Oh shit!
And there's a big circle where those people were killed by the British.
Yeah.
And it's still a memorial. It's crazy. I saw Paul Revere's gravesite still there, Benjamin Franklin and his parents. It's amazing.
Wow.
It gave me a huge sense of pride of this country.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on that, whatever. I'll say we're divided. But at the end of the day, we're all still Americans.
Yeah.
And there's so many people. When you break it down, you really think about it. You know what Americans are? Who we are? What we are? The core of who we're fucking rebels.
100%.
That's what we truly are. We get to a point where you know what? Screw you. We're in a different land. This is our land now. We're gonna go with our rules. You ain't gonna tax us up without representation.
Freedom.
So it's we're all about freedom. It's pretty much America. Hey guys, we're tired of the British rule. So put down your pitchforks and grab your muskets and let's go fuck them up.
Yeah.
A professional army.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all of us putting down our stuff and say, hey, you know what? Let's go take on the U.S. Army. We're done. This is our country now. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And when you think about it, I'm like, America is about badass rebels. Think about when Washington crossed the Delaware River.
Yeah.
He did that. The rules of war, at least at that time, were gentlemen's rules.
Yeah.
We're not going to fight on holidays, and we're not going to do it at night. He was like, cool, you guys got it. Hey, guys, load your asses up in those boats. We're crossing a frozen river. Fuck the British. We're taking them down. And he crushed them.
It's remarkable.
Yes.
When you really think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because and everything that you're saying, right? It was a rebellion that people were passionate enough about that were tired of getting screwed over by a group for long enough.
They just wanted the freedom. Leave me alone. That's
Right.
it. Leave me alone. Let me do my thing.
Or have the ability to make your own decisions that are not influenced to somebody that's not even represented in this new land, right? I've been to DC, and it's so crazy.
It's awesome, dude.
Because you read about it and you hear about it and you grow up listening to stuff and all, but actually being there gives you and I agree with you. It gives you a sense of pride for it, and
Big time.
I was talking to you when you're going over there as far as going to the Lincoln Memorial, and they have there's a star and it says where Martin Luther King gave his speech.
Yeah.
And I stood there for a little while and just looking out and stuff and remembering the pictures of seeing everything's there's so many people
All the
there.
people, yeah.
It's dude, there's so many just crazy, awesome, significant events that have happened, that have helped formulate, in my opinion, our country in a good way.
Yes.
And it's so cool being there.
It's a great reminder. It's a great reminder, the sacrifices that so many of our, you say forefathers, from George Washington to the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, when you walk in, it's astounding how huge these places are.
No.
And you look at it, it's funny because when I walked up to Jefferson Memorial and then Lincoln, and I'm like, yeah, this is America, bitch. That shit's huge.
Yeah.
It's so
big time. Yeah.
massive.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're making a point.
Yeah.
And then even to see the Capitol is massive.
Yeah.
Right?
Massive. I couldn't believe how big it was, dude.
Yeah.
Huge. So that's one thing I wanted to say. I was thinking like, man, people, if you can afford it, you can go. And like, I did this for me because as a kid, we didn't grow up with a lot of money. And my parents couldn't afford to send me on that school trip, so I couldn't go. But I think I'm almost glad because I appreciate it more as an adult. From putting in time and work and getting where I want to go. Trying to see where our taxes go, and you're listening to politics, but you see, what true America, where it came from, and how far we've truly come, and how this place was founded, and how people were like, "Screw you." Like, we're going to fight for everything we have. I always think about that too. Husbands and their sons went and fought. Some of them came back, all for freedom. So we could be here today to film this podcast.
No.
To have the freedoms to go surf, to go lift, Evan, to, you know what I'm saying? Dude, like, everything we have is because those dudes with pitchforks farming put that shit down and said, no, I'm going to fight to the death for my freedom, for this country, for the future of this country.
Right.
And it's like, it's powerful when I think about it. I love it.
And think about like how easy it would have been for people to just say no.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the part of it that I think is like, it's like, wow, you had enough buy-in by enough people that thought, whether it was in the very beginning or then maybe like things started and they're like, oh shit, I got to do something now. Right. You know what I mean? Whatever that is, it like you had the buy-in from the people here that wanted to like start something new, better, right? Try to make it better from where they came from. I mean, that's why the Constitution is such a remarkable document as far as what they were able to draft up at the time, and obviously it's debatable. People, I'm sure a lot of people don't agree or do completely agree with all the things that are written on there. Right. But it's the foundational, element to how we structured where we are at today. I mean, there isn't a lot of things that have changed. I mean, there are some major things that have changed, and a lot in a good way too, So it's like, it's amazing that we were able to do that and then create what we have today. And
dude, to come from nothing.
Right?
I mean, dude, people, we're going to get, I'm sorry, I want to talk about this with someone. So it's like, people came over from Europe with nothing. Mm-hmm. And we're like, hey, you guys, you want to go with me to this unknown land and just start some shit? There's going to be Indians. It's going to be crazy. But we're going to try and make it.
The American dream.
Dude, it's crazy, right? And then I think about just that time of during the 1800s when we got our independence in the 1776, all that stuff. But how hard life was for those people. And I'm talking like your entire family. How women were dying in childbirth. The death rate in the children and the women were high because of childbirth.
Yeah, right.
Disease but on top of the men working, the women work just as hard. Yeah. We're out trying to hunt, get stuff. Dude, they're at the house. Everybody had to pitch in.
Yeah, the kids had to work too.
Oh yeah. So I think about when it's like, hey, again, we're gonna go fight the British. The men left. The women had to take over in the village in the time, and that, dude, they were bad. I think the women there were badass. Yeah, they were hard, dude. They're some hard women.
Very
dude.
strong. Yeah. And then you think like in an era where a cut on your arm can kill you.
I know.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many things that, it's hard to compare like time periods like that because we're so much further along in advancement with so many different things. But just to take that step back, it's like, look at just the progress of time and how things have evolved in that way. It's crazy. And that's not that long ago.
No, it's
you know what I mean? That's like, that's the crazy thing. It's just like, this is a couple hundred years, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a drop in the bucket compared to how much time the world has been around. You're right. It's a short amount of time.
Exactly.
Very, very
I mean, look, there's like, you start getting into like, you go like Asian history cultures and stuff where they have like dynasties that family lineage goes for 1,000 years.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? We're like, what are we at, 300? maybe.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like it's because I didn't do the math. But either way, we're in a
Right.
couple hundred years is in comparison to these like long civilization type rulings and all that stuff. And we were able to do all this in a very short period of time in comparison, right? So it is one of those things like going there, it's really rad. And and anyone listen, obviously if you have the opportunity to and you faintly enjoy where you live and appreciate the country for what it is, you know, good or bad, go check it out because it puts a lot of things in perspective, I think. And,
Well, we'll have to do an episode on some of that one of these days because I also think about even after that time when people left the East Coast and started the Oregon Trail. Oh
my God,
dude, you're talking. There's no roads. They're fighting off Indians. It's like, well, we gotta
bears and mountain lions and
dysentery.
And I was trying to
dysentery.
I was trying to tell someone the other day, and it was a friend of mine, female, and she goes, "Well, the women." One of this whole thing. Well, women didn't have rights. I'm like, you guys, I'm not even talking about. They may not have had rights, whatever, but they were hard.
Yeah.
They pitched in just as much as the friggin' men. I mean, you're talking like forging your own way, building your own home, growing your own food, finding water. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it was hard shit, dude.
Yeah.
Hard.
I don't know if I should say this because I don't feel this way. But it's a joke that I heard.
Do it.
And I'll paraphrase it because it's from a.
This is a quote, everybody.
Yeah, no, this is actually a subject matter, and I don't know. He's super. I think he's a very funny comedian. We'll leave it unnamed, so it's just more anonymous. But he has a joke or a premise that he's talking about like women's rights.
Oh,
and you probably know who I'm talking about. But he goes, and his whole thing is like, look, I'm all for women's rights. Like, absolutely, all the things in progress and everything that's happened and where you're at today and where it can be moving forward. It's all amazing. But don't you think it's kind of convenient for the time period where that's stepped up? You know what I mean? Like going back to the colonial days where you're like, you didn't maybe hear as much of that because it was like life was so hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not saying it's not hard now because it is hard for a lot of people.
Different hard, yeah.
Different type of hard, right? But more of the joke was premised on the convenience of like the time period of when that started coming up to where it's like, oh, you picked a good time, like not back way back in the day where I was like, yeah, if you leave the house, you have like a 90% chance of dying. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm butchering the joke. It's actually very funny, but I just when you said that, I was like, kind of popped up in my head.
No, it's true.
Like,
I mean,
it's kind of funny.
You go out to hunt for your family.
You may
all
never
on your
make
own.
it back. Yeah.
Your wife, there's no cell phone, there's no phones, there's no internet, there's nothing. It's like, hey, I'll be back by dark, and it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're like,
husband's
hey, kids,
not back.
We're gonna stay here, I think.
Well, then,
good luck, honey.
Yeah, but now it's
like,
the woman's job to take over, and they did.
Yeah, absolutely.
They stepped up, and I'm just like, God, dude, people. Just overall, people were harder back then. They were tougher, but they had to be. But I think
you had to
because of those hard times. It paved a way to get us to here to these good times, but these good times have made weak people. People way too fucking comfortable.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a very good transition.
Oh,
bring it, Jordan. What do we got?
No, and that's one of the subjects we're going to talk about is, and we covered a lot with the Anheuser-Busch stuff, with Dylan Mulvaney and how the backlash kind of took place within that. And this, we're going to talk about Target, and not saying that good times makes weak people, but it is interesting that we are kind of in this time period where we're dealing with like kind of backlash. I don't know if you want to call it wokeism or whatever, but Target is probably the most recent big story, which is that they, for Pride Month, they originally had co-opted with a designer that was making Pride clothes. And if you've been on the internet in the last 3 weeks, you've for sure seen something about this.
Yes.
But basically that this designer was making Pride clothing, and then they were talking about like they're putting out like pictures of like men and women's bathing suits and how they're called like tuck friendly, basically giving them more material in this. So if you were wanting to wear it, you can hide your junk.
Okay, so real quick, keep your train of thought going here, so people know, listeners, because I don't want to assume that everyone knows. What does tuck friendly mean?
Tuck friendly, to my knowledge, and again, not an expert, but to my knowledge is if you are a transitioning person, for more specifically to male to female type wearing attire, that if you were to buy a woman's bathing suit, that it would have extra material in the crotch region that would allow you to hide your bulge or your, genitalia, so you'd appear more like a female, right? So because otherwise there's not enough material there, and when your nuts would probably be hanging out the side. You know what I mean? So, but that wasn't. That was kind of the start of it. But the backlash stuff was with kids' clothing and the pressing of possibly this could be pushing towards children, right? So there was a big backlash as like online community. There was a couple states that started the boycott against Target that started to kind of trend in that way. And what we've seen is, and like whether, and like I say, what we've seen, because it really just depends on what you look at as far as news information. Because if you watch like local news promotes it as like, oh, these states are against this, they're against the trans movement or LBGT community. But what happened, I mean, which I'm not saying they are or not, what I'm saying is that there is a massive amount of people who disagreed with this push for Pride Month, and what we've seen as far as tangible evidence is that Target has taken a $9.5 billion hit over the last
billion. We're talking
with a B. Yeah, big money.
Yeah. 9.5 big. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's like,
dude, I can't even fathom that, only even having that type of money.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Well, and then they just lost it.
Well, it kind of goes into this go woke, go broke, right? But I think that it's like the thing is like. Target's had this Pride collection out for a few years now, or like it's not like this is not the first rendition of Pride collection. The thing is like I don't necessarily have a problem with a Pride collection, but when you're trying to like put it in everybody's face at the front of the store, like. And like also like put it into like where like the children's section, it's like what like you're kind of promoting, like you're prompting it.
It's weird.
And then also the tuck friendly bathing suit was like the big spark, I think. But also the collaboration with the creator of this year's Pride collection. He like had some weird, or he or she, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they, yes, that them there.
We both went
yes. But like it's but like they had a whole bunch of like Satan respects your pronouns, like a Satanist type of deal and everything.
Today, this morning.
So
and just to be clear, that product line wasn't pushed through Target.
Okay.
So and that's because I was looking that up too, because I'm like, there's no way. I mean, like, look, okay, you want to do whatever. Okay, they're pushing stuff, but I'm like, God, they're gonna, because I saw a lot of those clothing stuff. So what it was is this collaborator that they were working with had done this before, or at least recently in the past year or two, comes out with these like Pride collection stuff, but some of them had like satanic influence, right? Like Satan respects your pronouns, or things along those lines.
Or the homophobic headrest, which was pretty much just like a guillotine and everything, or like the transphobic tonic, which was like basically poison and everything, like for people who are transphobic or something like that. And I mean, I was like, okay.
So again, right, and so it boils down to, it's like, okay, look, so in every single, let's say every single artist that does clothes, right? People have backstories of what they've tried before and everything along those lines, and it's like, I'm sure there's probably some wacky, outrageous stuff, and then there's things because it's like, okay, you want to say they're artistic in that nature, or maybe that's what maybe this person is a satanic person, whatever the case is, right?
Actually, about that too. So it's funny enough, like that person like backtracks, is like, oh, I'm a Satanist, but I don't believe in Satan. I just believe him more as a symbolic figure. And I'm like, come on, really? Like I'm like, honestly,
there's no in between. You believe in something, you don't.
Yeah, like
exactly,
right? Exactly.
At least when you
ring that bell.
But right? Seriously, it's like, it's very simple, really.
Exactly.
But that's the thing, right? Is that if you're going to put your name on something like that, and it's like, okay, whether or not you do believe it or not, it's not unfair to think that you are that type of person, right? Because that's what you're promoting yourself as.
Exactly.
That's what your push is, right? So when you find out that a person like this is one of the collaborators to a product line, that you have to understand that there are going, like, especially something with the Satan background thing.
Yeah.
We're not talking about LGBTQ. We're not talking about, anything like that. We're talking like this is a little bit more hard moral foundation opposition.
Exactly.
Right. So in that case, one, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like Target, really? Like, like you're telling me that there isn't thousands of other LGBTQ collaborators that are out there that it's like, look, okay, if this is what you're going to push or what, okay, right on. Okay. But you picked that one. It's like, what, 'cause you're trying to be edgy?
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, fuck, dude. Like that meeting, there was probably tons of people a part of that meeting. There was tons of approvals that had to get passed. This isn't like, hey, Bob, what are we going with today? They're like, today we're going with this guy.
Yeah.
Or, I always use Bob. It could be anybody. You know what I mean?
always say Bob.
But yeah, I was like, Bob is many things, I guess. But, it's just one of those things where it's like, you literally just saw what happened with Anheuser-Busch. And you're like, Anheuser-Busch didn't just take a big hit and then all of a sudden catapult up past from where their base was. They're
still hurting.
They're still hurting, right? So, sorry.
No. But Jordan, like as far as like, but it's not just them. Everybody, like, have you seen like, it's like Miller Lite's doing like the crazy like feminist thing. North Face is also doing a transgender. Like they're all like, it's like there's a bunch of companies that are still doing this. And then like the one thing that I'd have to say though is that Target is panicking big time right now. Not only that $9.5 billion dollar loss that they've just experienced, but like after like the backlash of this, like they're trying to either move their stuff to the back of the store, like into smaller sections, like where it's out of the way, or they're just kind of getting rid of it altogether. Right. They're in panic mode and trying to like salvage what they can because they don't want to become the next Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch.
Isn't that funny though? Right now they're saying, you made a good point.
Right.
They're saying, hey, we made a mistake. Let's push it to the back of the store. Well, and this is, I don't playing devil's advocate's the right word, but wouldn't that offend those people, the people who are transgender even more? Now you're going to push us to the back of the store?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? To me, I'm like,
100%.
well, now that's disrespectful to them. Not, it's like, again, we don't, all of us are on the same page. I don't care what you do, who you love, whatever you do with your life, like go for it.
Yes.
But you don't need to shove it down our throats.
Right.
And I think if you look at America on a political map or just beliefs, period, most of America is conservative. That's just the fact. It is what it is. It's generally more the cities that are more liberal. And when I say conservative, I'm not saying like Bible believing, but people just try to stick with like the normal morals, right?
I would say
probably middle.
I'd say middle
of the road, right?
Middle of the road,
So
right?
the best way to say is like middle of the road, right? So you're marketing towards a small percentage of people. That's probably less than 3% of Americans, right?
Yeah.
And now you're going to put that in the front of your stores and piss off your main customers. If I'm an investor, I'd be pretty mad because any other business that loses $9 billion, they're done. You're never going to recover from that,
Right.
and you're going to. It's crazy to me. Like what I want to know what is being pushed in some of these companies because, like Evan said, North Face is now doing it. I saw the ad.
Oh, and Adidas as well.
It's a bad commercial though.
Yeah,
it's not even good. Like it's as far as creativity goes.
Right.
They basically just took a transgender person who's like flamboyantly like a drag queen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
not like a transgender, like a average dress. And when I say average, I just mean like more normal looking.
A typical drag queen.
Right. They took someone like a RuPaul type character and put it out there as a spokesperson for North Face. And they tried to make everything sound gay. And the only reason when I say gay, I mean because they use the phrase gay over and over and over again.
Right.
Where it was like, okay, one, get the point. Two, it's like, again, right? The other side of this argument is that in this country, you have the ability to do that. Yeah. You also have to have the understanding of that there are repercussions for things that work and don't work. And It's not saying like, and like it's crazy. Like this whole conversation, when I've talked about it a handful of times over the past few weeks, I feel kind of bad because I feel like I sound like someone who's like kind of ignorant. But the reality is that it's like I have nothing but like. I'm pro you choose things for yourself.
Yes.
But I'm also like, you have to have some kind of understanding of where this limitations is going to go against. And the fact that people get like lambasted about like, oh my God, I can't believe that they're so against this stuff. It's like, dude, wake up.
Yeah.
Most people don't feel this way.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, and it's like, again, like when you're, look, one, I have an issue with the whole month thing for things because we choose a hierarchy of what's more important than things, right?
Yes.
We have Memorial Day. Okay. We have one day that patronizes the people that we've lost that have fought for this country,
Yes.
right? You get Pride Month,
That's bullshit.
okay? And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be time periods to be glorifying groups or whatever. Like, I think that that is important too, right? But I also feel like it's like when we're starting to do this, like we're starting to shift lines of things and start questioning stuff. It's like, dude, what are we doing? Like, where's the priority? Because it's like, and to go back, you kind of you asked a question, like, what are these companies thinking? I think the thing is that at the end of the day, the whole diversity and inclusion deal is a very important subject matter for a lot of these, not just conglomerates, but for a lot of bigger companies.
The ESG scores, right?
Yeah, well, there's scoring between there. There's like, I mean, dude, the diversity and inclusion is something that has probably started in the last 7 or 8 years. It's like a big hot button topic. And I think what the premise is that like, you know, it is good to respect other people and to have understanding of other people and have diversity within the work groups and all the great things that brings along with it. Yes, I totally agree.
100%.
However, don't highlight a subjected group in that diversity inclusion to highlight something to push upon people to the point of which it's like, okay, it's like, well, I never felt like that before anyway.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, now I got to go out of my way to feel like that about something that I never felt negative about before.
Right.
You know, and like, again, that's very broad is what I'm saying, because there's like, you know, it's basically kids, right? It always comes back to the kids. So it's like, all right,
100%.
it's like, as long as we don't impact the children, you do your thing, respect you, give you space. You know, you can't be mad that if I'm staring at you because, you know, you got a beard and makeup on, like, that's just different for me to see. But it doesn't mean I'm like, well, if it works for you, it works for you. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know.
I don't,
Just,
what I'm trying to understand, you know, is like, why has it become such a big push to do this? Because I don't. I'm trying to figure that why that is. Is it government funded? Is it come to it's pretty much probably politics and money. But my thought is
it's money, dude.
What is such a big deal that you have to push this so much,
dude?
I don't get it because again, like you said, most people the transgender world and gay world is a very small percentage of most people. Mm-hmm. But yet you're going to let the few run the many? Like, do you not expect to get backlash? It's going to happen. And what this has shown is, I want to tell people, this is what happens when you come together as one and fight against something.
Yes.
Right.
They start to lose.
Yeah.
Like the people, the government and the companies don't have control. If people come together and say, hey, say for whatever reason, let's just take this whole thing out of Target, what's happening. Say Target sells something like, I don't know, an alcohol that supports sex trafficking. And everyone's like, no, that's not happening. We are not going to Target anymore. And everyone gets together and you stop buying, it will shut that place down. Mm-hmm. They will change their tune because guess what? They want your money.
Right.
They want you to buy there.
Yeah.
You are their customer. All you have to do is say, I'm not coming here anymore. I'm going somewhere else. Mm-hmm. They will do whatever. I promise you right now, it's about money. People want that. The companies want that almighty dollar. And if you stop spending your money, it's a wake-up call. And the same goes with your votes. Yeah. If you don't like something, you don't like what a current administration or a senator or Congress is doing, the power is coming together and voting people out. That's what's the beautiful aspect of being an American. Is your vote fucking counts. So when people say, oh, I don't want to vote, you bet your ass you better go vote. People died for you to do that. And if you don't like the current situation, what it is, it's called coming together. Not just backing away and staying quiet. Well, it'll work itself out. Mm-hmm. No, that's not how things work.
Right.
You have to come together. When people join together as a team and can agree on something and realize the power's in the people. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that again. The power is in the people.
Yes, sir.
If people come together and you stop shopping somewhere, or you come together and you stop voting for somebody, you put somebody else in, that's how you change things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Straight up. Because the politicians want your vote and the companies want your money.
I have a couple things to say of all of this and everything. Also, one, I love everything that you guys are saying. Like, I agree 100%. Jordan, I think that we should make months again. Like if we should make hats like that. Make months again. Like honestly, like the thing is like, oh, this month is this.
Do me a favor real quick. Can you turn your mic up so that it's pointed up? There you go.
Right here.
Yeah, you get a little. Your mic isn't as hot as ours.
Oh damn. Okay, so I have to be like right.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool,
now I can hear you. Yeah, I was like,
All
man,
right.
you sound far away.
Make months again. Go.
Make
go.
months,
Make months again.
Make months again. Okay.
That's a mouthful.
Because right. No, but like I mean, like it is ridiculous and all. And the fact is that like again, like even with like the like Pride Month in June and all that, it's like dude, seeps over into May and all, and so like May doesn't have its own month anymore. Honestly, it should just be June, July, August, September. Like again, just make them regular months and then give the actual day so that like it's more important in that one single day, right? Like yes. Again, like it's like yes, it should be celebrated, but like maybe like again giving it that specific day, so that like everybody like I don't like this like it has to have a whole entire month to like I'm like I'm not it I feel like it loses its power that way because then but again half of it's because it's about like making money and all, and honestly all these corporations they don't really give a shit about the LGBT.
Dude, thank you for saying that.
Like,
thank you,
dude. Like, so like they don't, they really don't. So it's like they're just trying to get the extra dollar from this community and everything, and it's just ridiculous. It's disingenuous. Also, with the whole entire thing with oh, we're gonna be selling this stuff and selling that stuff. It's like you know what? Like I like what you guys say about the again choosing where your money goes and then also choosing where your vote goes because that's all I care about. Yeah, that's all that matters, and that's actually what we have control over as far as like with our being in a consumer economy, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that we can actually take action with. Right. Now, granted, it's like do I like Target? I think my fiance loves Target more than I do.
Target, baby.
It's Target. Like I love it.
It's
but
Walmart
like,
step up.
Exactly. When I step into a Walmart, I'm like, ooh.
Hey, real quick, does it go Kmart, Walmart, Target? Is that how it goes?
Dude, I don't even know that there's Kmart.
Kmart's done.
One, where is there a Kmart? And two, I would have put Walmart and Kmart probably pretty close. Depending,
right?
Like. I don't know. I would say I feel the same shopping at one of those spots. Not in a bad way,
right,
but there's definitely a quality differential like, as far as like product value goes. Yeah. And you do get good deals there, wholesalers and mass bulk. It is what it is. Yeah. But I always felt like shopping at Target was like, oh yeah, I got this at
upper echelon.
Yeah, like
it's upper echelon.
I'm doing all right, dude.
But you said it right, dude. Yeah. I just don't think people understand like the power is truly in the people.
Yes.
The power is within us.
But that's not what they want you to know, dude.
Of course not.
And that's why we have things that are occurring in this way because it's able to look, marketing, a big part of marketing is being able to virtue signal to a group that you're trying to reach.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, regardless of is the individual pushing this, whatever it is, they don't have to believe in it either. They just know that if there's these hot button topics, I mean, look, in all honesty, Target probably went, look what happened with Anheuser-Busch. Look how many people are pissed off at Anheuser-Busch, or let's say pissed off at people that are pissed off at Anheuser-Busch. Let's throw it in their face and see what we can get. Let's see what those numbers look like. I mean, I'm not saying this is what happened, but this is the potential of what could have happened. Because if you went, oh, they lost $6 billion, maybe we shouldn't do something in the same way, but still prop things up in the way we're trying to do it. And in this case, pushing for Pride Month. Right. And let's see what the backlash is. Now, in this case, probably poor choice in collaborator.
Right.
And doing the whole everything up front in your face tactic, not as popular. So, and again, right? And I want to talk about what you said because I totally agree with how messed up this is that when you do have these companies that do this and then there's a knee-jerk reaction because loss of cash. Yes. Right, that's the ultimate like
almighty dollar
room shaker. Yeah. You're like you can feel how you feel, but you're like, dude, we lost like $10 billion. $10 billion, dude. Like we got a problem. What do? They push everything to the back.
It's fucked
That's not fair. No. That's not fair, dude, because there's great representatives of every person.
Yes.
Type of person.
100%.
And not everyone's an extremist and not everybody's a bad person and all this stuff, whether you agree, disagree, doesn't matter.
Right.
There's good people out there. And, because I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, like you grew up, like, say you have homosexual parents that, are raising children that are good people. Whether I agree or disagree about sexuality,
they could be great parents.
They're great parents, great people, great influences of children. Like, should that kid feel bad that, it's like, oh, my parents are gay and, now this is what's going on, or I hear people talking. Like, I feel bad for people in that situation because it's like we do ourselves a disservice when we over highlight things and we constantly push things forward. Like, you should be proud that you're this. Now, there's nothing wrong with being proud of the person that you are. There's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, I encourage everyone to be confident and proud within whatever their situation is.
Yes.
But the reality is that it pisses people off when you do it to a point that you're not, you push them out of a group is what you do. You highlight something that is different to the point of which now that difference stands alone.
Yes.
And it's like the goal, I thought the goal is we're all the same. We're all
inclusion.
Equal.
Yeah.
We're all this. We're all that. But when, the true inclusivity.
Yes.
Right? And companies don't understand that. Yeah. And when they do shit like this and they get the blowback and they go on there and they're like, oh, well, it's just conservative people from the Midwest that are, or the South or whatever that are backlashing against this. It's like, no, dude.
It's middle of the road, regular people.
You're doing it to everybody or the majority of people. And it's like, when will you get it through your head that it's like, look, is it cool to be X, Y, and Z? Yes, it is cool to do what you need to do, but to highlight it on a level where you're going to start subjugating those people, and now the attention's there, and now those start getting split apart, and then you kick it up to the media groups that are already split, as far as conservative, liberal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then it just gets dissected from there, and it's highlighted in a way that somehow turns negative on one point from either side.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because there are great people that get caught up in there, and it's like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? I don't know.
Yeah. I think that, so now, what I'm about to say may come off harsh or, just mean and not, but I think that it's I'm kind of glad that this thing happened, and not for the people that it's dealing with unfairly. With the actual community that's it is affecting. But I think that it's great because it's actually showing us is when this disingenuous virtue signaling and all that, and this commercial wokeism is failing. It shows a clear sign to companies, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we should actually do what we're supposed to do and cater to the audience that we actually that actually got us here in the first place. So I mean, again, with Anheuser-Busch, it's dude, you don't need to go into this this political sphere. It's you're a beer maker. Make your beer.
Yeah, just stick to making beer. Dude.
Exactly. With Target.
It's good. People buy it.
Exactly.
Drink it.
Well,
you have a winning combo.
I mean, Bud Light sucks. I never liked Bud Light.
See, I actually, out of domestic beers, Coors Light and Bud Light are the two that I've drinking
all the time.
Majority of my
I
life.
just drink Coors.
I don't like Bud Light. I'll drink Budweiser, but I don't drink Bud Light.
But,
yeah.
No, that point that you made too, Jordan's good because it sucks for that community, trans and gay, because you're going to put them out front, but then now because you took some heat, you're going to push them to the back.
It's bullshit.
Dude, you're just fucking with them. Dude, that sucks. That fucking sucks.
You did what you were originally trying to combat in the first place, inadvertently.
I know.
It's the dumbest shit ever, dude. It's the stupidest shit ever. And I can't believe that there's people getting paid millions of dollars to make these decisions when it's so overtly obvious that it's dude, you're trying so hard. You're trying so hard to make this point that it's you didn't have to do that in the first place. I was like, dude, good people, respectable, good people, do that on their own. You want representatives from communities and we're LGBT. The good people of those communities will represent themselves in a positive way that you can't look, unless it's a fundamental ideology that you just don't agree, then you're out. You're never going to agree. But for the remainder of people, which is the majority, good people represent themselves. They get respect for themselves and they go on living a great life, and everyone around them should and hopefully do treat them with respect because that's what it's about.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Again, right? content of character. You know, I was like, I always like, dude, the Martin Luther King quotes are like just flow through my head sometimes when we start talking about this shit. And it's just like, it's the most basic understanding of how to be a human with other people and have inclusivity. Be respectful, do your thing, mind other people's shit, and people will respect you for it. And they're involved. You'll be respected.
Yes.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously situational, and people can pick that comment apart, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, I think that's the premise, and that's hopefully what we can kind of stick with. And, you know, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you like losing money, keep doing this shit. Keep it going. You know, Target, you know,
people are going to speak.
I mean, dude, fucking Nike, you said North Face, you know, this whole Mulvaney thing. Dude, and all bullshit aside, if that guy is pulling a big ruse, smartest person I've ever seen. Smartest person. You realize that guy got a contract on day 365, Nike, Anheuser-Busch, all that. He'd only been practicing being a woman for 1 year. 1 year. And he's already making millions of dollars in highlights. And honestly, if you've seen him, he's a pretty gnarly looking guy. Yeah. Like, or woman or gal or they, whatever his, you know, identifier is. It's like, it's almost to the point where it's like kind of a joke. Because I've seen a couple videos like pop up recently where it's like in a bikini at the beach. And I'm like, dude, you look like a really skinny dude.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even look like you're trying to be feminine at all.
And the thing is, I don't dislike Dylan Mulvaney, but what I don't like about what he or she is doing is, we've said on here before, is to me they're making females look ditzy.
Woman face.
The way
woman
that,
face.
The way that Dylan Mulvaney is dancing around, and I'm thinking that's not what a real woman is.
Right.
You know, the women I respect, I'll give you a great example. When I went to the Air and Space Museum in D.C. when I was there's a jet hanging up. It's freaking awesome. Huge jet, 2-seater. And at the bottom, there's a picture of a female, black and white. And right there, she was the first woman to break all the speed records in a jet. I'd never heard of her. No. And you read all these barriers that she broke. Everyone kept telling her no, and she kept pushing. And the Air Force finally said, fine, put her in. And she was the one who came and started breaking speed records and sound, all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, why are we not celebrating this woman?
Yeah.
I want to understand, like, how come this isn't being taught in schools or out in commercials right now? Like, Dylan Mulvaney and other transgenders that want to do it, that's great. But why are we highlighting and celebrating biological males who want to be females, who haven't done anything great besides change their sexuality, when there's women out here who have done amazing freaking things, who are smart, who have multiple degrees, who are doctors, who have broken records, swimming, playing, sprinters, African-American female sprinters on the American side who are insanely fast. Mm-hmm. Pilots, female astronauts, the women behind NASA during the moon launches who wired and thought of all the mathematics to get Americans to moon.
I was just going to say, I forgot the name of the movie.
Yeah,
but it's fucking awesome.
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures, yeah.
And that's
Great
why
movie.
where I kind of get upset is there's so many women to celebrate here. Women who, instead of Dylan Mulvaney, should be getting night contracts and be on Coca-Cola bottles or beer bottles that have done shit. That are amazing people. First women, let's say, in politics, who've actually done some shit.
Oh,
yeah.
Why are they not being celebrated on there? You're gonna give a biological dude hey, good job, hooray, here's millions of dollars for just changing your gender. That's all you did. That's where I have a problem with it.
Yeah, it's just a sign of the time right now, dude.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And it's like, it's unfortunate because everything you just said, you're absolutely correct.
Yes.
I mean, and you know what the craziest part is that woman, and I don't know her name either, but what I'm saying, like someone who is like that influential in the aerospace industry,
right.
The fastest person in
it was in the 60s or 70s, yeah,
right,
crushing,
especially at that time with a lot of the civil rights movements and everything else going on like that.
She broke barriers,
right? And not one person in here probably knows her.
No, I didn't even know her.
Wasn't on a Wheaties box. Wasn't on this. Yeah, but like you said, you get a representative of a person trying to be female for they hit 1 year.
Yeah,
and that was it. You know,
congrats. Here's millions of dollars.
And I think that it just boils back to the kind of the root of this is that it's the corporations' issues with their selection of, you know, are we going all in with inclusivity, diversity stuff? And then let's over highlight this to a point of which, look, we're good people because we do this. It's like a self virtue signaling thing. And look, and a lot of people are like this at the end of the day, right? I mean, like, what can I use for an example? We can use our proposition voting on this for California, because I feel like this is kind of just shows you where people are at just in general. But, there was a couple of very hot button issues on the prop voting. One was for the abortion ban, and then, or to not even that, it was to vote on the writing of how we're going to conduct abortions in the state of California, basically saying that we keep them legal or not. And there's a lot of gray area in there, but either way. And then there was flavored tobacco, and there's like sports gambling, right? The woman's right to choose over and abundantly wins by like 80-something%, right? In the whole state, right? Not even close to being 50-50, right? But sports gambling, flavored tobacco, massively lost. And I think the reason is because it's whatever your information is, whatever you subject yourself to or watch, influences, people around you, the things that win are the ones that people can go,
yeah.
You made a good decision,
Pat
Jordan.
yourself on the back, huh?
You're in the group, buddy.
Yeah.
Good for you. You did it. And I think that mentality is tough because it's not something, and I'm not saying that those specific subject matters, it's not even what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when you associate with something and you're only doing it because you want to feel like, one, you're in the group, or two, you can feel better about yourself moving forward, because so there's this kind of like self-indulgence feel to it. I think that that's what propagates all this other stuff that's going on. And that mentality doesn't just say with you and me sitting here in a room or voting or believing in whatever. It's people up in top corporate. They're people too. You know what I mean? And if they feel like, oh, this is it, this is the new hotness, this is this, they're going to roll with it. And then we're going to see things like this. I don't think this is over. I don't think Target's going to be the last company. And North Face really hasn't seen much. And if that commercial really airs on TV, good God, you have a terrible writing. And I'm not talking about people that are into drag. Because if you were into drag, that should be offensive to you a little bit. Because it makes you seem kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And, and when I say dumb, I just mean poor writing. And it's like, if you think that's what's going to be in a trigger to like have a company make more money is going on and patronizing being gay and dressing in women's clothing, then I think that you're not smart, and you're at least not smart at marketing, because if you're into making money, which is what being a corporation typically is, like, it's weird. Like, why would you set yourself up for this? Now we have two massive corporations that have taken very substantial hits that aren't countering in a way that's like, oh, we went down $6 billion, but we're up $15 billion now. So maybe it did work. You're not seeing that, or at least we haven't seen it yet. And it's not that quick of a turnaround.
You're looking at the markets.
I'm looking at the market space, dude, because the only way you can judge things now in real honest, like an actual, like factual judgment is look at the pace of money moving. That's really it. It's not about how you feel. It's not about what you think is right. It's a bit, I shouldn't say what you think is right, but if you're trying to see like what's the exact like counter, or how is this working as this thing's moving forward, follow the money. That's all you have to do. And with a lot of things, right? It's like, as far as we talk.
Well, that's what I think too. Is like some of these they're jumping on the bandwagon of the woke thing. Okay, so let's look at their history. 5-8 years ago, were they even a part of that? Did they even care?
Probably not.
Yeah. It's just weird. That's why I think too, like if someone's going to support, if I'm a transgender and someone wants to support me, it's like, what's your track record, dude? Are you doing this for the money? You know what I'm saying? Or what are you in this for? That's why I think about when I look at all this stuff. It's kind of like, God, it's just jumping on the bandwagon, do what's cool now, but they're just paying for it, dude. It's so ridiculous. And I hate that now it's like, oh, well, let's just push it to the back of the store. Okay, so let's hurt these people even more. You know that they're already.
Dude, because then you vilify extremists from the other end, dude. Right. And that's the thing. Like, it's like, what do you do?
Because
this is a nightmare of a thing to have to deal with.
At the end of the day, I told someone this because we've talked about this stuff on this podcast a few times in different areas, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, these people are still my brothers and sisters. They're still Americans. They're still humans, and they're still people that. At the end, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't want them suffering or hurting. Yeah. I hope they're okay. I hope they're making their bills. I hope they have someone who loves them and they're a part of them. But where do we find that fine line where you're like, look, man, it's almost like, again, we talked about earlier with people coming to America, leave me alone. They fought back. I was like, just let me do my thing.
Right.
I want to say, like, that's what America is. Let people do what they want to do, but don't force things on us, because that's where you have problems. And yet people will get pissed if you don't accept what's being forced on you. It's like, no. Do what you want. I'm going to do what I believe in and enjoy my life the way I want to. You don't need to shove it down my throat.
No.
But at the end of the day, I'm still going to make sure you're okay. And again, I think that's why we're in the career fields we're in, right? When that call comes in, the alarm goes off at the fire station. We don't care if you're rich, poor, destitute, gay, straight, worship Satan, worship God. We will help you even if it means our life being taken.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
No.
But how do we find that fine line in culture and society? People are just like, hey, can you guys back off a little bit?
I know,
Like, it's not, I want to say, you know what I want to say?
Isn't it weird?
Yeah, like,
Right?
dude, like being trans or gay isn't that big of a deal. Who cares?
Right.
Why do you have to, like, why is it got to be pushed out on us so much? Like, good for you, man. That's cool. Go do your thing.
Yeah. But in a weird way, I guess that's what makes you like an outlier. You know what I mean? You have a fundamental, like, commonsensical approach to things because you have witnessed a lot of things. You have dealt with people of different, everything. And at the end of the day, at least from a job perspective, it's never hindered. It's never changed. It's never stopped. It's never slowed me down. I've never felt a certain way about somebody, especially in an emergency moment.
Yeah.
You think that I'm not going to help you? Of course I'm going to help you. And I'll do everything that I can to help you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I also think that like that mentality, that's why there's like a very finite amount of people that are able to do things like that because the majority of other people don't feel that way.
No, if you don't agree with me, like, I can't talk to you.
Right.
It's stupid.
Which is the dumbest thing.
It's good.
It's great. It's I don't know. This
It's interesting.
I hope this stops just because it's like, I mean, like, dude, like,
I think in reality it will. Everything
Eventually,
ebbs and flows, right? It's like this, right? It's like the market goes up and down, and it changes with whoever's the administration is. It's just interesting to me that it's gone so hard tilt into it, so freaking hard. And I just want to say, like, why does it matter so much?
I don't know.
I just want to say, who cares? Go ahead, go sleep with who you want to sleep with, man. Chop your penis off, sew it. I don't. Whatever you fucking want to do.
I'll say this: you chop that off, I have way more respect for you if you chop it off because you're full pot committed at that point.
There's no going back.
There's no going back.
I gotta say, like as far as with everything that we're all talking about, honestly, like I think that it's inflammatory right now, where it's like it's inflamed a lot and all. It's in the last 5 or 6 years, it's gone up so much. But again, whatever comes up will go down, and that again, it will become like there will be like a new like status quo of what. But I think that right now we're just experiencing that time of period where it's like it's really in your face, and we're all getting kind of tired. Or we're getting to that point where we're getting tired of it being shoved in our face all the time.
Just fucking over it.
But again, it's like it doesn't mean that it's like oh, like we hate trans people or we hate gay people. It's like no. It's like that's not what we're saying at all. I think that as far as like when it comes to again like the acceptance and all, it's just like again like accept like again like respect people for what they do, but don't again like at the end of the day just don't bring it on the kids.
That's it. Leave the kids out,
absolutely.
dude. Leave the kids out. Okay,
just fun fact, a little update.
What do you got?
Did you guys know that State Farm announced that it's no longer going to be insuring new homes in the state of California due to over cost of wildland fire incidents?
Whoa.
Really? What about us over here who aren't in the wildland interface?
That's not what this
So
says.
State Farm is not insuring California homes anymore.
No, it says, State Farm announced that it will no longer insure to new homes in California due to wildfire and rebuilding costs. This is ABC LA just posted this out.
Don't you love insurance companies? Hey, get this insurance, we'll take care of it. But when something goes down, they try every which way they can to get out of it so they don't have to pay anything.
Well, loosen up on the forest abatement, dude. Straight up. Like, you know what I mean? You want to, it's like, look, you want to have your cake and eat it too. But the reality is you want to stop the wildland firefighting stuff, or you at least not stop it, but you want to slow down its massive destruction that happens every year.
Yeah.
You got to do more preventative maintenance.
Which means you have to cut down some of the forest a little bit.
You do.
But then you get the Greenpeace people.
Well, I'm sorry. Pick and choose your battles, dude. Do you want to lose thousands of homes? Put people on the street. Oh, obviously, the state doesn't give a fuck about people on the street.
Ring that bell.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Let's be serious about that. So, like, at the end of the day, I'm not surprised, but it's just State Farm's a big interest.
Well, hey, guys, real quick here. No, that was actually, I'm glad you brought that up. But one more thing we want to talk about real quick. Did you guys hear about this? This is the article that I found. A friend of mine sent this to me. It happened a few weeks ago. But 50 Marines spot triangular UFO or UAP as big as a football field in 29 Palms. 50 Marines. Okay, multiple videos of this thing, which we looked at it, right? You saw it before you came in, right?
I did.
So this happened in California, 29 Palms. There's a military base out there, so people know. A lot of video or a lot of training goes on out there. Multiple different military bases.
That's massive.
Yeah.
It says the video of the UFO was taken between 8:24 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. on April 20th, 2021. So this is a few years ago. Of course, we're just hearing about it now. So the people who kind of got a hold of this video and finally reported on it were Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. I believe they have their own podcast as well.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
Actually,
I said I think they have their own podcast. Everyone's like, dude, they're huge.
Yeah, they're big. Yeah, Jeremy Corbell. He's
Jeremy. Yeah, actually, on my way over here, I was actually listening to Breaking Points, and they actually had Jeremy Bell on. And the reason why that like everyone's like saying why are you releasing this story? Yeah, why did it take so long? And he's like, I'm the biggest skeptic. Like I want to write a good story, but I'm also the biggest skeptic. So I'm gonna take my time and filter through everything. And so basically, he crowdsourced all of his stuff from like all the 50 Marines. Got like airdropped all of this information to him.
So he's doing his homework.
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
big time.
He don't want to sound like
he's
idiot,
a legit
makes sense.
journalist. Legit journalist.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he pretty much was like saying like he got like what first it was like 10 Marines and then 20 and then like basically there were like nonstop of these like side like the video and picture and like the low light pictures and all that, and they were saying that maybe like the five lights from the triangular shape. They were saying like, oh, it could be flares, but they were saying no because flares don't stay in one place for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you can even on that video, you hear somebody say, you can see the outline of it. It's huge.
Yeah,
come on, dude.
Yeah,
50 people on a military base. Now you can't tell me they were all having the same hallucination or seeing a mirage or whatever you want to call it at the same time.
50 is a lot.
50 is a lot.
You know, I would ask the same question to people that were naysayers of Deshaun Watson's sexual conduct with 19 women. Because a lot of people would say the same thing. They'd be like, well, I mean, a lot of girls could potentially, be making things up. And you're like, yeah, but like 19,
You're so
23. It was 23
or 23,
Yeah,
23 girls, all of them with the same story.
Damn.
The same thing. You're talking about 50 Marines seeing
Yeah.
the same thing, saying the same thing. That's a lot of buy-in from every single one of those people.
And every single one of them had their own proof of like because they all recorded it. They all recorded it and took pictures and all that.
I think we're getting to a point in civilization where our technology is advancing so much that the government won't be able to hide whatever the hell they're hiding. It's eventually just going to happen and come out like, yeah, dude, like someone's going to catch something and it's going to get released. Like, yo, that's like not of this earth, and that's flying and landed, and there's some beings that came out. Whatever it is, I'm not saying green Martians, whatever, but we're getting to that point.
It's advanced society, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think there's other things in our universe. To think we're the only ones is ridiculous.
Yes.
And I just read something in the science article that for every hour on Earth, our universe is growing by like 1 billion light years.
What?
Huh?
Yeah, our universe is still expanding.
Okay.
It's ever expanding. I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So to think we're the only ones, we're not the only galaxy. I want to remind people. You realize there's billions of galaxies that are just like the Milky Way galaxy across the universe.
We're the Andromeda galaxy, or is that we're Milky Way. The next one that we saw is the Andromeda, which is like just as big as this one.
Right.
And then that's one of like millions and millions of, I mean, dude, like the perspective of space is infinite. So try to capitalize on what infinite means, it does.
Whoa, why'd the camera flash?
Oh.
What was that?
I don't.
Mine flashed green.
Oh no, mine's on.
Oh no, you're fine. That just scared me. I was like, what was that?
Yeah, no, I do. I did want to say real quick that there was I listened to someone on a podcast with Joe Rogan, James Fox.
Yeah.
He has a new documentary called The Moment of Contact.
No way.
Yeah.
What's it on? What platform?
I can't list this platform because it is not. It's
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But no, you can buy it. You can buy it on Amazon, I believe. And,
I'm buying it today.
Yeah, and but basically, it talks about so this documentary is about the most documented, basically like alien contact like situation that's ever like been documented in our history.
What do you mean, like
So,
people or groups of people seeing something at the same time?
It's groups of people, and what it was, and I'll butcher the city name, but it was down in Brazil. And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've heard about it before too, but this is like, I mean, it's like an hour and a half getting into it.
Dissects into it?
Yeah, okay. And basically there's a large group of people that came in contact with a UFO that actually came in contact with an alien being, and that story that goes along with it. So believe it or not, but it's very intriguing, and it was really cool to hear him talk about it. And again, it's kind of like a eternal skeptic guy, so kind of a similar background to where like I don't want to buy in off it, but as this started happening, this is like, you know, it kind of changes his mind. Maybe this really did happen.
Yeah.
So it's super intriguing. And then, and I want to do some more research about this, but one of the podcasts I was listening to made a comment about like ancient Egypt and like how the civilization fell, but talking about how like they were able to build pyramids and like what a feat that would take, that at the time for technology at the way it was, or what we perceive it to be, like couldn't have been done. They're talking about like the quarries where they're getting the big, you know, etched out stones were from, were like 900 miles away, dude. And they were talking about how some of these cuts that they were making, the only way that could have been done is with a higher RPM'd blade, meaning you had to have some sort of motor, which in that case didn't exist, right? Yeah. Or, and like, you know, I'm talking a wheel paddle in the river isn't going to generate 2,000 RPMs to cut massive quartz blocks. You know what I mean? So,
well, you know what's interesting about I think it's one or all. I think it's the pyramid, Giza.
Mm-hmm.
The same numbers for the speed of light are the same numbers of latitude, longitudinal of where those pyramids are located.
Whoa,
sick.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Tell me that's not freaking weird.
It is weird, dude.
I was like, wait, what?
Doesn't it sit like it's positional, like from corner to corner? It's north, south, east, west, but like perfect.
Yes, and people don't understand. There's not four. Dude, yeah, there's not. If I remember this right, there's not four sides to the pyramids. Each side has two sides. It's not completely flat.
It's like a diamond.
It comes together like this. Yeah. So really, 2, 4, 6. It's like 8 sides, from what I understand. But when you look at a top-down picture, you can see how instead of like it coming up like this one, it's a side that comes in together like that on each. I'm just like.
Well, shout out to the Hebrews. I guess they built the whole thing. So.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Let my people go, baby. Anyways,
Moses.
Look out! Hey guys, it's great to be back.
Yep.
I always miss. I love doing this with you guys, so I miss it when we're not together. Great job today. Thanks for showing up. This is a great podcast. I love you guys. I hope you guys both had a great birthday. Because I sure
thank you.
Absolutely.
May was a great month for me. It was a great mental recharge.
Absolutely. Good month in the books. I'm stoked to be back. I look forward to moving forward. And Kia in tonight for Firefighters for Freedom.
Tonight, Firefighters for Freedom. This is going to air after, but yeah. Everybody tune in.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Saturday the 27,
right.
26.
Hey, I was trying to remember.
Yeah, we got it down now. But anyways, let's go on through. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go.
Bye, everybody. Oh, do it.
Oh, I don't know. I saw the thing flash. I was like,
say bye, everybody, damn it.
No. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening in. If you liked what you just listened to, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Please follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And a big shout out to Stephen Clark, our sound editor. He's a huge part of this team that is unseen. It's 89 Barbers, our first sponsor. Look good, feel good, be great. That's 2 locations, Orange, California, and Long Beach, California. Book your appointment online, 89barbers.com. Bye, everybody.